Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we're going to talk about some things that I think I've been holding back from, and the future of what's going to happen on this earth. I think that the next 2 years, 2026 to 2028, are going to be pretty pivotal, and so yeah, there's some things that I want to talk about there. Um, a lot of you I know are wondering, like, what's up? Like, why haven't I been uploading regularly? And, yeah, it's, you know, I'm going through some of my own things. Just, mainly mental stuff, just mainly, like, mental blocks and stuff with this channel. Um, there's some deeper stuff that I could get into, but I don't think I'm going to. But, for the people who really love this channel and have positive feelings towards me, I just want to say thank you. Like, I know there's quite a few people who have been very supportive of this channel, so thanks. Yeah, and just thinking about you guys and how I can best serve you guys is probably, um, what's been going through my head the last, well, quite a while now. Like, the last few months, especially. And so, um, yeah. But here we are. Can't go back and change time, but here we are. Um, and so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, some things. So, you know, we could all get, sucked into politics and what's happening and the economy, and everything is going to shit, it seems. You know, everything is just crumbling. The world is falling apart. People are losing their minds, and the government is going to crap. And of course, we're all broker than ever, and we're all more pissed off than ever. It seems. Um, and yeah, the whole system that we thought we were going to have under, the America First system. How is that working for us? Not too fucking well, right? Not too great. I thought it would be better, but not too great. The whole thing about the, politics and this and that is just like, it's human affairs. It's just human affairs. It's just, oh, that country blew up that country. There's like a genocide going on in where is it, Sudan or something now. Bunch of people getting killed there. We have problems all over the world, and honestly, I think that's probably what led to a lot of my uh depression, not feeling well. Is just this, like, everywhere you look, it's just fucking problems everywhere. It's just a bunch of problems. I mean, can we not get our stuff together? Humanity is just, I don't know. I feel like at this point we're pretty screwed. We're pretty done for. Now that's if you look at the 3D. You look at the trajectory of the 3D timeline, and it's like, oh, yep, there. It was going good for a while, and now it's just falling off the cliff. So yeah, I think it's a struggle for everyone. Everyone is struggling, and I hate to see that. And yet, we're giving money to Ukraine and Israel and everybody else who asks for it. Minnesota was caught giving $1 billion to, what is it? I think Somalia or something like that. Just the terrorist group. I forget their name. I think it's like Al Shabaab or something like that. I don't know. But it's just like, what the hell is happening to our country, to our nation? And if the Obamas haven't sold us out enough, then the Bidens have, and now the Trumps have. you know, it's just like everything is just, you know, you vote for a guy because he's gonna, he promises to make more change and then promises to make good change, and he's the FU candidate, the guy who everybody voted for because they were so sick and tired of the existing system that they just decided to vote for the FU party, FU candidate, to throw a wrench in the system. Um, and turns out he's backed by donors, and it's just like this whole thing. So that makes me beg the question, like, how can someone feel okay in this whole system? It's just one lie after the other compounding upon each other. So, and then yeah, I could go into the minutia of what's happening and this and that. It's not helpful. I don't think that watching news and all that shit is ever helpful. um so let's talk about what is helpful. What do I see going on in the near future? Um so I think you know, uh this whole 3D world is coming to an end. And uh some egos are going to have to be smashed in order for it to in order for people to make the transition between 3D to 5D, or this world to the next world. There's going to be some ego smashing involved. That means putting away your plans for the future, your earthly desires, to grow up and have a family and, have a wife and children and this and that, to have a good job, to have that dream house that you were looking for. Now they're talking about 50-year mortgages. It's just like, why not just pay rent to the fucking government? Why not just, pay the rent and in order to live in your little tiny house, and, you can have freaking, what do they say on the WEF? It's basically you you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. I mean, it's just like, come on, like, America is so fucked. It's beyond fucked. It's destroyed. And that's pretty ego killing. I mean, that's pretty destructive to our identity as this great nation who, everybody thought we were the best in the world and we're great and we have, the American exceptionalism. And then we got taken over by tyrants who sold out our country just like Joe Biden did. Sold it out to China. Let the Chinese buy our property in America. Like, why are we allowing the Chinese to buy property right next to Air Force bases and military installations? Oh, so they can run their reconnaissance through those properties? I mean, come on. We're such a joke. Um, so yeah, America is going bye-bye. Sooner or later, we're just gonna have to face it. We are screwed. We are utterly in debt, and the debts of today, your grandkids, your grandkids are gonna be just broke, even broker than they already are. And it pains me to, come on here and deliver a negative message like this, but I mean, I have to face reality at this point. Um, you know, America is screwed. We are done. We are over. We are buried, 100 feet deep in debt. And it's like we're spending, I forget what it is, like $1 trillion every 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Well, the GDP ain't gonna bring in that much. I don't think. I don't think people are doing $1 trillion in sales every 3 months or so. So what's gonna happen? It's like, yeah, we've been totally destroyed, totally gutted from within. U.S. aid was just, a drop in the bucket. You have people making deals with foreign countries, you know, selling out our our country, selling out intelligence, things like this. And it's just like, what do you even do? And truthfully, yeah, there is no saving us. I mean, our dollars are going to turn into Zimbabwe dollars, where you can have everyone in the country will be a billionaire. Everyone in the country will have $1 billion US, but it's not gonna mean shit. You can't buy you can't buy a bowl of rice with $1 billion. It's just the currency is just totally um destroyed. It used to be backed by gold, but it's just like, what are we doing? Like, it's based on nothing. It's based on literally nothing. It's just paper, not even worth the paper it's printed on. And yet, you know, people, kids, like, what, like, our economy's dying and were being replaced with AI. And this all happened much sooner than we were all prepared for. So, it's kind of a negative doom message. But if you look at it from my point of view, which, I mean, of course, am I pissed off about the US just totally diving and spiraling into debt and decay and destruction and death? Absolutely, I'm pissed about that. But on the other hand, here's where the ego smashing comes in. So, so for years past in the US, everybody thought, okay, well, if I just make this much money, then I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be taken care of. Like, if I could just sustain the, this amount of income, uh, everybody, I think, would be happy with 100,000 a year. Which, honestly, man, nowadays that's even not even much. But, um, it's just like, um, so so we had this, this country that we could depend on to, you know, to, we always thought that Big Daddy government would always take care of us, would always provide for us, would always make sure that we're safe and taken care of. We just have to, look away, distract ourselves with something else when they bombed some third world country, and stole their oil, right? So that's all we had to do was just, okay, you're gonna be the wealthiest country in the world. Just look away when we go ahead and bomb this third world country, replace their leader with one of our puppets, and extract all the oil, right? That's what America did for years. So, and then, um, so that system finally came to a halt where, now it's just, yeah, already what I just said, the economy's gone to crap and all that stuff. We all know that. And now we're stuck with, well, especially the boomers in the middle class, are saying, I was promised if I went to school and got a degree, I could have this one job that would make me X amount of money per year, and I could live well with that. I could have, uh, a nice house in the suburbs with my wife and my two kids and a dog, a golden retriever, and all that. That's what everyone wants, right? So, but that American dream was, just dead. It doesn't exist anymore. Because now those office jobs are being replaced with AI. And, and now it's the gig economy. Like, everybody has to find a gig. Like, these people with freaking PhDs have to drive Uber now. It's like, what is this about? This is just the ego smashing of postmodern America. I mean, And so, it went from being about, the old message was about America and Americans. And now, you know, and now some black guy stabs Irina Zarutska, something like that. This girl named Irina on a train, on a bus or whatever, in, I think it was Chicago or something. Anyway, and the Democrats are apologizing to the black people. An immigrant just shot to National Guard. And what do you have? The Democrats are apologizing to the whoever, not the to the Afghan immigrant community who shot them, not the National Guardsmen. No, screw them. That's what the Democrats say, is screw the National Guard. You know, they shouldn't be allowed to do their jobs. But oh no, we have to protect the illegals. We have, or these foreign nationals. These foreign nationals. So, how did we get to this place where we have our own leadership sucking the teat of well, the some sucking something else of the illegals that come here? Sucking up to the illegals. Oh, we'll give you $2,500 a month just to come here and and live and all that. And oh, you're a homeless veteran American. Well, you can go suck it. You know, it's just like this is the shit that we've had to live with for the longest time. You know, so I guess what I'm trying to get to without really getting there, which it's a hard transition to make, but I mean, yeah, this whole system is over. There's so much corruption. There's so much, uh, you know, people just stealing from the American public, stealing in multiple ways from us. I mean, you have military contractors who stole our the technology that the military got, which is basically alien ET technology, stuff that would blow your mind. I mean, like all the stuff that they had in Star Wars. Yep, we got it, including anti-gravity stuff. So, 0 point energy stuff. The systems and mechanisms and technology to power the entire grid of the entire world forever at no extra cost than just purchasing the making the components to produce the anti, the 0 point technology device, which I'm told that people have seen some as far as small as like a matchbox. That's how small they've gotten them down to. So you have a matchbox sitting in your home somewhere, and a device like that can power your entire home, all your electronics, everything. So this is the thing that like pisses me off the most, is just what are what are we doing? Like, not taking that technology back from them. What are we doing letting them mishandle and misuse that against us? So there's, and of course they have these in secret, like top secret places and stuff that they've gotten from the ETs and stuff. And I know Dr. Greer, he wants this technology released, of course, to help the American public and society in general, just the whole world. I mean, imagine, you know, uh, Donald Trump has even said this. Like, he said, well, if you reduce the cost of energy, if you reduce the cost of gas and diesel and energy, coal, the cost to produce energy, then you reduce all the costs in the economy. Well, how do you reduce it the most is you get a 0 point energy device. So I mean that's easy. We already have them. They're being mass produced for the military contractors. You know, they're found on every uh, man-made UFO. Uh, and yes, they're man-made UFOs, of course, because they've been shooting down ETs since like the 40s or 50s. So here is what I wanted to talk about. So we're going to, you know, let's all just face that the world is total crap right now. It's not like it was a decade ago or 2 decades ago. You know, not only did COVID fuck everything up, but also the mismanagement and the abuse in government has been screwing everything up. But also, you know, just the total mismanagement in government, in our finances, in everything has just been screwing everything up, right? It's not the same world that I grew up in. It's totally different. It's much colder. Like, I don't know how to describe this, but it's just weird. It's just not the same. And I know we all like to, pretend that, oh yeah, it's the same, but it's not, you know. Um and so let's just face that we're on a downward spiral right now. America is never going to be what it was decades ago. You know, it's just never going to return to that point. I have I have zero faith in any of that. Trump was Trump was supposed to release the Epstein files. That's one of the biggest things that he ran on. Was that, drain the swamp? What happened to drain the swamp? Now he's, it's just like so fucking frustrating. It's just like, what are we doing? Um, what happened to term limits in Congress? All this stuff. So, it's just like he's not gonna do anything that he promised to do. Yeah, he's getting migrants out of here, illegal immigrants out of here. Okay, good. That needed to be done anyway. That's something that every and any administration should agree on: upholding the law, securing the borders, not allowing anybody in here illegally, vetting them thoroughly. This should all be basic shit. But now, finally something's happening with that. Um, and I know people got upset with Vivek Ramaswamy, with saying that Americans basically weren't talented enough uh, to run their own country, I guess. It's just like, what? That we needed, some industries, like, who wants to be a doctor anymore? Like, who wants to be a freaking lawyer anymore, other than people who are trying to get rich off of it, which I feel like that's always been the case. People who want to get rich off of being a lawyer. But, it's just like, yeah, nobody wants to do the hard work anymore. Nobody wants to do the hard jobs anymore. And who can blame them? It's just like, why? There's no benefit. There's no American dream anymore. Why would I do that? I can just sit on the couch and jerk off and and just not do anything and have the same result. Why work hard when your hard work is not rewarded? It's just like, why? Why put yourself through all the, negative uh, pressure and all that stuff anyway? But yeah, so here is where I think we're headed. So, of course, well, you already know, 3D, the Earth is headed in a downward spiral, of course. We are crashing and burning faster than anybody has seen before. And then we have what's going on with the ETs, what's going on with 5D and all that. And sorry, I thought I had heard someone knocking on my door, but I guess not. So what's going on with 5D, or what's going on with the ETs, the higher dimensional ETs, is basically, so um so my teacher, basically, he has been working with them. They've been showing him multiple things, and they've been kind of expressing to him that, the world is going to change, and you know people are going to start coming home. Now, what does that mean? They're going to start coming home to themselves, their true selves. And so this world of the past where you could work a job and you could be a dumb person. You could, have a room temperature or below IQ, and you could work at the mill, you could work at, the factory or whatnot, and you could have a wife and 3 kids, you could have a home, you could have your, 2 cars and a jet ski, a boat, whatever, that golden retriever. And you know, and someone working that way could be very happy. You know, you didn't have to, you could just do your 40 hours a week, come home and relax. You didn't have to be stressed out, or you didn't have to, invest in crypto, or, work overtime just to be able to afford the house or the kids or that, jet ski or whatnot. But now it's so, that was the world of long ago. And now it's just like it's over. And now I think because the ETs want to, like, they genuinely care about us a lot. um they've been preparing a world for us. They've been preparing this new earth for us. And it's been um it's been like, yeah, just like I've seen it. I have, uh marked my land on it, like what I want, like where I want to live. And I've actually gone there in meditation and kind of walked around the area and built things and stuff like that. And I don't know, at first I thought, okay, this is just like a dream, or this is just like some nonsense thing to like fill my time. Right. I thought it was just a fantasy at first. Like a fantasy world, right? But now I've come to realize, like, this is actually real. This is actually what's happening. And so it's not easy to talk about because it's not like manifested yet. You can't walk out your door and look up in the sky and see this thing, right? No, it's not manifested yet. But I think, it's which, you know it, in the past, if anyone was saying things like I'm saying right now, they'd be put in a loony bin, right? Just because they're having this imagination that's not true, or that we can't physically see, what they're talking about, so that we naturally think that they're crazy, right? I understand. you know, um, but this is something that you're just gonna have to trust me with. Um, So, yeah, so, you know, when we do this interdimensional meditation, what I'm seeing is this world coming into manifestation. And you know how, like, let's just say you want to build your own house, right? Well, you can't manifest your own house if you don't work on it. So if we don't work on building this new reality for ourselves, is it ever going to manifest? The answer, I think, most probable answer would be no. Because you didn't build it, right? So whenever we, in meditation, we put energy into this new earth, even though, yes, it's a very out there concept, it's very, you know, I didn't, I didn't even believe in this thing before, and I'm still struggling with it now. But the thing is, it's like, um, this new world, this 5D. Everybody in the New Age community talked about this, the New Earth, talked about the Ascension event, talked about the solar flash, talked about, you know, this stuff before. But it's not like you can predict it. It's just not like, oh yeah, it's coming on March 14th, okay? Um, no. You have to you have to manifest it, meaning that if we don't put our energy into it, if we don't like build our 5D earth, our new earth, it's not going to come. So, you know, everybody just thinks that, like, things are just going to happen. Like, so in astrology, they have this thing called predictions, right? Where they look at your planets and they say, "Oh yeah, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. That's gonna happen," right? Well, if you totally isolate yourself, like in a padded cell, and all you do is get, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner shoved into that little slot, they just push your tray in there. Um, is any of that going to happen? No. So, so you can't make a prediction. It's like you can predict, but that prediction only goes so far. That only means that if that person is in that environment, then X and Y is going to happen. But it's like if we're not even aware of 5D, if we're not even aware that ETs exist, how likely is humanity to become aware that there's a new Earth waiting for them? Not very likely, right? Not very probable. So, here's the thing. It's like, um, you have to. It, it's participatory, right? So it's like you have to actually participate in order to make it happen. So while, yeah, in astrology, people can, astrologers can give you the best prediction in the world, but it's like you actually have to make that happen. You actually have to, go out and interact in the world in order to make things happen. They just don't happen automatically. Like, law of attraction says that you can manifest things, you can manifest money or whatnot just by your feelings, just by having positive feelings towards money, right? Well, if you just have positive feelings towards money and do nothing else, like just sit on your couch and eat Cheetos all day, those positive feelings mean nothing because you haven't taken the action to actually go, you know, go look for a job, go look for ways to earn money, like actually get up off your ass and go do something, right? So even though everybody's talking about this new 5D world coming to us, it's there. I've seen it. It's there. You just have to come and take it. You just have to come and, you know, put effort into building it. Like that's what it takes. So, um so, you know, while I'm harping while I'm harping on you about that, like I know that, you know, of course there's going to be people who don't do that. The general public is not going to bother with putting their energy into this new earth. Thankfully, there are quite a few people who have already, and they are basically given you know, the first seat at the table, first class plane tickets, right? So, it's something that you have to actually put effort into. So, if we, given that, you know, it's probabilities over predictions, meaning that the most probable outcome is what's going to happen. um, Even though, a new Earth doesn't sound probable, um, given the destruction of this Earth, it's pretty inevitable. And I just feel silly saying this stuff out loud. I mean, it's just like, it's so uncomfortable. But it needs to be said, and I'm trying to say it. I'm trying to help you guys understand this. It's not anything in your head. It has nothing to do with intellect. It has everything to do with the soul. It has everything to do with the eternal essence of you, your eternal essence. It's not like science fiction. Yeah, we're gonna create a new world or whatever. Like, you know, I know that Elon Musk wants to create a new world on Mars, right? But this is not that. And so I guess I'm trying to explain it to make sense, but it's just not gonna make sense. There's just no way it can make sense. I'm trying to explain it logically. There's no way. There's no way that it logics. It's just like, how do you explain something like this? Um, and it's more than just, spirituality is not just feeling spiritual. It's not just feeling happy all the time. It's not like everything is perfect all the time. You know, the fields of spirituality and psychology are basically the same. If you don't know what I mean, what is psychology? The study of the mind. Wrong. Psychology is not the study of the mind, it's the study of the spirit. It's the study of the soul. What is the soul? The mind. Well, there's something called the heart mind in the heart center. This is the if you take that word psych and you look at so we have psychology. So we know ology is the study of whatever, the study of psych. What is psych? That goes back to souk. What is souk? Souk, that word relates to soul. The study of the soul. What is spirituality? The study of the spirit. Right? It's basically like the relating to the spirit, relating to the soul. So these are basically two sides of the coin, two sides of the same coin. One is looking at it from a metaphysical, right-brained perspective of, everything is conscious, everything is together, everything is alive, everything, and it's a very feminine thing, right? So, and then we have the very left-brained, oh, Pavlov's dog. If we introduce a steak to the dog and we ring the bell, he's going to salivate. Now every time we ring the bell, he's going to salivate, even though there's not a steak there, right? This is, just different things like this. This is it's two ways of approaching the same thing. One is right-brained and one is left-brained. It's the same thing. Now it's funny that, the right brain and the left brain, because those are the two hemispheres of the brain, or the mind, the soul, all that. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that, everybody thinks that this is the real reality. everybody thinks that Earth is the actual reality. Do you think that Earth is the actual reality? I want you to ask yourself that question. Is Earth, is this human body the actual real reality? No. I know that it feels like it, but is it? Is your feeling of this being the real reality the truth? Or is it just a feeling? Because, it's funny that we have such strong beliefs on what is true, what is false, what is not true, this and that, but the human person, the human being, you know, there's only so much information that we can pick up on, right? We have sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Those are the senses. And with sight, we can't see beyond a certain wavelength. So we can see like the darkest red, and we can see the lightest blue. Those are like the color spectrum. So there's red, orange, green, yellow, blue, or whatnot. I don't know. But the human eye only has a certain color spectrum, right? And the human ear only has a certain frequency range that it can hear, right? So, you have like you have what they call dog whistles, right? You have, if your dog is, doing something that they're not supposed to do, you blow on this whistle. No, you can't hear it, but the dog can, and it's irritating the dog, so he stops. Well, that's a demonstration of there's some things that you can't know, that you can't pick up on. So there might be a dog whistle being blown in your home right now, and you couldn't even hear it. So does that mean that does not even exist? Or does that mean that it's just out of your perception? See, there's certain things that exist that are outside of our human perception. That's what I'm getting at. We live in this three-dimensional world where it's up, down, left, right, back, forward, back, side to side, right? And so, does that mean that a direction like forward and up, forward and up and back and down doesn't exist? No, it does. So there's a fifth dimension, there's there's a sixth dimension, a seventh dimension, a eighth dimension, all of these multiple dimensions, right? And there's creatures, there's beings inside of all these dimensions. And there might be a being that is sitting right next to you in a totally different dimension that you can't even fathom. Totally out of sight, totally out out of mind. And you think you're alone. Now they can see you, but you can't see them. This is the best way that I can possibly describe describe this, because it's weird, but hey, it exists. It's so there's this being that's sitting right now next to you, like, you can't see them, you can't smell them, you can't hear them, but if you go into meditation and you remove yourself from your 3D perception of reality, which is what interdimensional meditation is. It's removing yourself from your 3D perception of reality. If you go into that meditation, you can now begin to see that person that's sitting right next to you in a different dimension. Right? But yet we use tools like we need to go outside of Earth's boundaries in order to perceive that. But there will come a time where we're just going to have that perception anyway, like embedded into our daily lives. We're going to be able to sense and pick up on, CETs for who they really are. We're going, and just the amount of crazy ass experiences that I've had doing interdimensional meditations, man. Like, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy, and it's unlike anything anybody would have ever guessed that aliens or ETs would ever be like. So, just like you can't see infrared, nobody can see infrared, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. Nobody can smell certain smells, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. There's something called, like, nose blindness. When you've been in a building for so long that the stink just doesn't smell anymore because you've gotten used to it. The it's just like there's the dog whistle, right? That who knows, there might be something like a dog whistle going right now and you couldn't hear it. Right? So, but as humans, we all delude ourselves into thinking and believing that we're so smart, that we're so on top of it. Oh yeah, we're scientific, we know all the shit. Right? We know everything there is to know in the universe. Wrong. We're apes with rockets. I think that's the main reason that the ETs decided to show up when they did. When we're nuking Japan. when we were first developing the nuclear bomb and decided to send 2 of them to Japan. Right. So they're like, oh no, what are these fucking what are these fucking monkeys doing with nuclear missiles? They're like, we gotta stop this before they destroy themselves. That's why they came, guys. That's exactly why they came. Like, come on, who are we to delude ourselves that that's not the reason that they came? They didn't want us blowing up ourselves or anyone else. So, and of course there's that's the it's more than that. There's a threat to themselves. Like nukes do more on a interdimensional level than they do on a physical level. In fact, there are people who have basically they have nukes that that it's like they have these nukes that are not explosive nukes, but they're like meant to like mess with the other dimensions. So anyway, yeah. Um so this new world is coming to effect. Um and so be ready, you know. All I can say is be ready to have your mind blown. Be ready to have your mind open. Like open your mind to other things besides everything that you already knew. You know, we all think that we know everything, you know everything that there is to know. We've experienced everything that there is to experience. Like this is Earth. Like this is just dull, boring Earth. And there's nothing more, right? But these meditations have shown me that there is a lot more to this. It's a lot more than most people could ever understand. So, yeah. So, a lot of a lot of people will need to be like taught how to operate in this new world like newborn babies, right? You didn't just come into this world as a baby and know how to run a business or learn how to, you know, do math or read or whatnot. So there will be a lot of you, especially the ones who are spiritually just kind of not there spiritually. Um Not really spiritually or psychologically grown, who will need to be coddled, who will need to, have essentially parents who will raise you and look after you. Um, there, there's a lot of, there's going to be a lot of learning how to get back on your feet kind of thing. Learning how to walk, learning how to run. These kinds of things. Um, and and I'm saying this, but I'm sure it's not going to be easy for me either. I hold no illusions that I'm gonna have the best. That's gonna be easy for me to get there or whatnot. It's just, you know, I, all we can do is do our best. That's all we can do. Just do our best. And I think that's all. That's all that's being asked for us, from us. Um, just to do our best. And the thing with that is, it's it's okay to be where you're at, but I feel like as long as we're all trying to grow spiritually, you know, I feel like as long as we're all trying to um expand ourselves spiritually and grow spiritually, like it's gonna be fine. I know a lot of people are worried about this shift, like what's going to happen. Will I be okay? Will my family be okay? Look, at the end of the day, like, every soul will be returned to its essence. So at the end of the day, there's going to be, like, you know, it's going to be okay. Like, everything will resolve itself. So, I would say for those people who don't know if they're going to make it to this new earth or not, or maybe they have some doubts or some feelings about this, I would say go ahead and meditate on it. Go ahead and meditate, and I know that there's a lot of unresolved karma that is going to have to come up between now and the beginning of the new world. So our own collective goal should be to heal and burn this unresolved karma. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Is just, you know, resolving the old patterns. Like, we all have old destructive patterns. We gotta step away from those. And we gotta, step into what we believe to be, what is best for us. And so by doing that, we're going to make ourselves more ready for the new change. So let me see how I am on time. Wow, this is a long video. Damn. Okay, so yeah, I guess where I'll leave it now. Um, yeah, I just wanted to say, like, you guys, I would encourage you guys to just go ahead and just, if there's ever, if there's ever been anything that you wanted to do in this life, just go do it. Don't wait for anyone. Don't wait for anything. Just go do it. Like, I know I'm planning some stuff for the new year. I'm I'm planning on going on a long vacation. Um so yeah, there's just things that um need to, like, even though everything seems like it's going to crap, there's still things that we need to aim for. There's still things that we need to do just for the sake of doing, just because they need to be done. So, personal growth is one of them. To start our own spiritual and mental health and well-being is another. Um, so yeah, there's always things to push towards, to do. In fact, I'm having a meeting with my sponsor right after this, and I'm, doing the whole 12 steps again. So that's fun. Yeah, it's even though I've had some resistance to that, you know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. My mood is kind of like, I'm like, ugh, everything sucks, and I know that going into this new earth, everything is going to be a lot better. So, I hope this has helped you in some way. You know, yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you for everything, and of course, if you have read my stuff down here, um, there's, all my stuff that I offer: astrology readings, career coaching, life coaching, distance energy healing sessions. I have a book out now called Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology, so you can check that out. And yeah, um, that's about it for me. I'm tired. Tired of talking anyway. Alright, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Bye bye. Take care.